or whatever, or playing an all. I actually think the first roid era is the all-white league.
You think so?
In a way, yeah. It was just like, wasn't it cheating to keep the fucking Pedro Martinez's out of the league? And then all of a sudden a guy like me can be fourth in your rotation? It's not those upper echelon white guys. It's the pitching they were feasting on.
Right.
With like facing, 3 or 4 white guys every week, a week and a half, who would never even sniff the league. And then they get to avoid Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, Pedro Martinez.
Why is that? Do you do that? Do you like to do that?
I do. I did that in every fucking. I have somewhere in one of my hard drives around here. I'm gonna find them. I have a picture of myself in front of every major league ballpark by myself with a stranger holding the camera. I'd be like, "Hey, can you take a picture of me in front of the King Dome, the Astrodome, the Superdome, all of the domes?"
Did you hit every park in the United States?
I've been to a home game of every professional sports team except for 3 hockey teams.
I've only not been to 3 parks, and New Yankee Stadium is one of them because I just haven't gotten back to New York for New Yankee Stadium. But I used to go.
Yankee Stadium is great and it's awful all at the same time.
It just looks like it's, I don't know, the old one.
I love that they put the facade back around the ballpark.
Yeah.
Because I always thought it was a mistake when they put it out in the other one. But the other one became iconic. Reggie Jackson made that iconic in, was it 77 or 78 when he hit the 3 home runs in one game? But I loved old Yankee Stadium because that's actually the one where Babe Ruth played, even though it was like new old Yankee Stadium because they redid it in the 70s.
Sure.
But the new one, they got a little – they brought enough of the old back that I loved. But the outside and like I said, that old school facade going around the infield out to the outfield. But then they did dumb shit where they had like a chef behind glass carving steaks.
Yeah.
And then they made the seats way down below so fucking expensive that even during playoff games, they're like empty because it's just, celebrities and shit with hookups below, just gorging themselves with food and not giving a fuck about the game. And as much as I, hated the Yankees, like there was nothing like the sound of old Yankee Stadium in October when I don't know what it is, like MLB puts more microphones there.
Yeah.
And I used to just get like fucking goosebumps. And it was the weirdest thing where I moved to New York and I was there for so long. I watched so many Yankee games rooting against them that I started to know that ballpark the way I knew Fenway. And then meanwhile, Fenway was getting totally redone, especially out in right field. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I get lost when I go out there. There's like a mall out there or some shit that I actually started to know, that's the old one. The new one, now that they have the new one, I don't know shit about that one. I just went in there and I thought it was beautiful and the sight lines were great. But then there was just too many reminders of how much money they had, which I thought was tacky. And I really thought they kind of did what the Lakers did, where the Lakers priced out their old school fucking, I remember when Kareem got traded to the Lakers, they pushed that guy all the fuck way up, like 3 layers of luxury boxes. They're all the way up there. If you get up there, you'll meet some fun Laker fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, as a Celtics fan, right? I mean, that's our big rivalry. But if you're down below, it's just, I don't know what, it's corporate, it's celebrities and all of that fucking shit. So
it's just the price points change so much because they invest so much in these new fucking monstrosities. When you fly back into LA, you can see the new football stadium, and it's supposed to be a technological fucking spaceship. I mean, it's so futuristic.
It looks amazing, yeah.
It does look incredible, but like they're going to have to supplement that with higher ticket prices, with steak carving behind fucking glass. It's like that's become
of like the 1952 World Series. I've been watching all this old sports where it was like, I think it was 52, like Mickey Mantle was a rookie.
Oh, wow.
And he comes up bats left-handed, hits a home run to tie it. 2 innings later, gets up right-handed, hits a single, drives in a run, and the guy said, "Magnificent Mickey, the 20-year-old rookie." And at that point, it was just like, oh, yeah, good luck, buddy, filling Joe DiMaggio's shoes. I watched the 1964 NFL title game with the Browns beat Don Shula's Colts. He took 2 big fucking losses, and I think he was gone by Super Bowl V when the Colts finally won. So that deal where he finally fucking won it in 72.
Yeah.
and they went undefeated. And he also played on the Browns in 52 and 53, back-to-back years when they lost to the Lions, and then his career was over. So as much as the Browns went to the title game every year from 1946 to 1956, the first 4 years were in a different league. Like Otto Graham was the first Tom Brady.
Do you think anyone will ever associate that, to think that he was as good?
As far as being a winner, and Lou Groza was the first Adam Vinatieri. Because what was great was the NFL called the All-American Football Conference, they called it a Mickey Mouse League. And Paul Brown, who if you read anything about Paul Brown, that is Bill Belichick's guy.
Right.
The whole way he ran it, the whole way he fucking did it, that's Bill Belichick's guy all fucking day long. And he's the guy who basically discovered that the kicking game is important. And then Lou Groza being such a great fucking kicker and was accurate from 40 to 50 yards. And when the fucking goalpost was right on the goal line.
Right. In the end zone.
You got to the 42-yard line, this guy could fucking hit one, right? So when they joined the NFL in 1950, they were like, they were laughing. Oh, this is fucking bull. We're just going to steamroll the 49ers, the Colts, and the Browns. They were the ones who came over. And I think the Yankees did too. And they came in the first year and they won. They beat the fuck did they beat?
From the Mickey Mouse League.
I think they they maybe beat the Eagles or they beat the Rams. I think they beat the Rams or they beat the Eagles. I forget. But it was like watching modern day football where they were down with 1:48 left and Otto Graham 2-minute offense like Brady drives them right down and then Lou Groza kicks it with no time left to fucking beat him. And the Browns fans actually argued from back then that's why the NFL they call that 1958 game the greatest game ever as opposed to 1950. Because that was the new Colts, the NFL Colts, because the first one folded versus the Giants. So it was NFL teams. This is the one that put it on the map. They didn't want to admit that some fucking team from like the XFL came in and fucking kicked the shit out of their champion. It's really interesting. And how much, like the Bears were the 1940s while the Browns were doing something. And then in the 50s, it was the Browns and the Lions. And then the 60s was the Packers. And then they just started they talk about NFL Films On seems to be Super Bowl I and on. So all of those great teams just went away in everything that they did. And it doesn't make any sense to me where they act like the Eagles won their first fucking title when they beat the Patriots. It's like, no, they won in 48, 49. They won in 60. I don't know if they won before that, but they won the fucking thing. If you're going to count Babe Ruth's titles in the 1920s, why can't people in Philly count those?
Manipulate that as much as you can. Basketball. Yeah,
I got to say this. This is going to be me old man bitching. If I see one more stupid Instagram thing of a guy dunking with some savage rap music playing like he just dunked on Kareem and there's nobody under the fucking rim because nobody's allowed to stand there for longer than 2 seconds.
Yes. It's
not the fact that the defensive player can't stand. Dude, back in the day to dunk, you had to be a fucking man. You had to go into the trees, and they were going to beat the shit out of you.
Yes.
You were going to get a forearm to the fucking chest and get knocked down on your fucking ass.
Yeah.
And there was going to be no call.
Now it's rare.
And now it's like you sense the person on defense going, oh, fuck, am I going to be on Instagram? And they're like trying to run out of frame.
Yeah. Well, defense is also taking.
I want all you hoes to know. Boom, right? And people just act like they just.
Yeah, but that's because these guys now, they pride themselves way more on offense anyway. There's only a handful of guys.
I don't give a fuck how you guys play the game. All I'm asking is that when you go to score the highlight film, put the right kind of music on there.
What music do you want on there?
You
want Benny?
Remember when they used to run away in fast motion on the Benny Hill show?
Yes.
They should have some guy on the other team slapping the guy's bald head as he runs out of the way so he doesn't get dunked on.
Look, I'd rather the game be a tougher, stronger game. I mean, look, you probably watched The Last Dance. I grew up in Chicago in that era. I think the game's toughness back then was my favorite time in the NBA. My father won't even watch the NBA anymore because he doesn't like the way it's played anymore. He doesn't enjoy it. And I miss it. But I just know you're never going to get back to that because this is where we are.
I understand it in football where, like, what was being done to receivers when they went over the middle?
Insane.
From the 70s. Oh, yeah, it was criminal.
Fucking insane. I mean,
in the 70s, it was fucking criminal. They had
you could cowboy collar, right? You could still cowboy
horse collar. There was a guy on the Raiders who his move was when you were away from the ball, he had like a cast on or whatever. And I even didn't have a cast. He would just wind up like a salt. He would just fucking slam you in this. He did it to Lynn Swann twice. Chuck Noll said the guy should be in jail, and the fucking guy took Chuck Noll to court for slander because and his defense was Mel Blanc's doing it too, and they lost because he was. I think it was Mel Blanc, but they were doing it too. What the fuck they used to do to them
was insane.
Was insane. But if you went back to the 1950s, you could hit a quarterback until the play was over.
Right. You could keep
hitting. But there was sort of a thing there where it was almost like hockey, where it's like, well, if you do that to our Gretzky, we're going to do it to yours. So there was a level of respect, it seems, but every once in a while, people took fucking liberties.
Right.
It's really weird. Like if someone,
I got to tell you, I mean, like.
I love what the Astros did. I don't think it's cheating.
No, I mean, look.
Because the Red Sox and Yankees, for a 10-year period, just eviscerated the bottom third of the league and fielded roided up free agent fucking teams that won all of these fucking championships. There in Houston, they couldn't compete. So they did what they had to do.
What about the Royd era? Are you into that, like the McGuire Sosa era? Do you think that were you cool with that, or did you hate that shit?
I'm only cool with it if everybody comes clean, and then you just have roided up stats for like. I actually think Barry Bonds was a victim of the Roids era.
How?
In that he was the guy, and then all these other guys cheated, and the next thing you know, the president's calling fucking Sosa and McGuire, and then I just thought Barry Bonds was like, all right, here's me on roids. There's 73. Right. And then all of a sudden, he was the biggest cunt ever.
Right.
And it's just like, he did it legit, and then everybody's looking the other way where these fucking people just, I mean, it's comical.
Yeah, but the only reason
how big these fucking guys got.
Well, they got jokey big, but I still stand by the fact anybody that's a baseball fan knows steroids will never help you hit a baseball. That doesn't matter. To help you hit it farther.
What they do is your body is first game of the year for the whole year.
Great.
So there's no breaking down of your body.
Good. They should all be that way because we break their bodies so quick, so young anyway. I mean, fuck it.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, I understand that, Mr. Rebel, but you got to make sure everybody's on it. And if they're going to start breaking the records of guys who all they did was fucking eat a bunch of coffee beans or whatever, or playing an all. I actually think the first roid era is the all-white league.
You think so?
In a way, yeah. It was just like, wasn't it cheating to keep the fucking Pedro Martinez out of the league? And then all of a sudden a guy like me can be fourth in your rotation? It's not those upper echelon white guys. It's the pitching they were feasting on.
Right.
With like facing, 3 or 4 white guys every week, a week and a half, who would never even sniff the league. And then they get to avoid Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, Pedro Martinez, and all of these guys. And then those upper echelon white pitchers only have to get through the white Babe